Hey, I'm Alana Cerrone O'Hare.
And I'm Nick Millard.
Welcome to PVD POV, where we'll bring you new insights into the coolest little city in the smallest state.
Whether you're a local looking to uncover hidden gems or a visitor eager to dive into our vibrant culture, we've got you covered.
Each week, we'll be chatting with the movers and shakers here in Providence, from restaurant owners to hoteliers, staff members, and everyone in between.
Ooh, it's a little foreshadowing there. Yes. So today on PVD POV, we actually have one of our own, Ms. Carley Foto. She is on the convention services team, and she's chatting with us today about a bunch of different things, but basically all that they do to kind of help bring a meeting into Providence.
Yeah.
And
they do a lot of the magic. They're like the Oz behind the curtain. Is his name Oz? No.
Yeah.
The wizard behind the curtain.
Yeah, Oz.
Or they live in Oz.
No, I think, it's something like that.
Either way, she's behind the curtain.
Yes.
Convention services, this is what they do. They're awesome. And so she is going to talk broadly about what her and her team do, but also like specifically this really cool event they've got coming up, Flight Sim Expo. It is open to the public. So if you are even slightly interested in aviation, June 27th to 29th at the convention center, they're coming in, and it's really, really cool. So she's going to tell us all about what you can expect there, and also what they did behind the scenes to make it really fun for
and we had
attendees.
some fun experience there too, because we kind of recorded a little thing there to help promo their opening.
Right. We were involved.
Yeah, I recorded it, and you were on the screen for welcoming. For 30 seconds. It's okay. That's all right.
And now it's here. Now it's almost showtime.
Exactly. So
360.
We chatted about all the fun little things that services team does to kind of help bring a meeting to Providence.
And what Carley did on her 18th birthday.
Yes, we'll get to that. If you want to listen to that, then you definitely got to turn us up and get ready to experience Providence from a whole new perspective.
Welcome to PVD POV. Today we are so excited to have one of the best smiling faces in our whole office here on PVD POV, Carley Foto. And Carley is on, so Nick and I are on the marketing side.
Yes, we do.
We do marketing.
Yeah,
it's
we do a lot of fun
we have
stuff.
our own end of the office.
Yep.
And then like the sales and services side on the other side. And we only really see each other at staff meeting and lunch. And so we're excited to have Carley here because we get to see her and hang with her, and she's so fun. So Carley does services, and I'm going to let her explain it. So Carley, take
a little
it
bit
away.
what you do.
Who you are. What
tree tops. We'll get the tree tops in.
Well, thank you for that wonderful introduction. And Nick, you guys don't just do the fun stuff. We do the fun stuff too in services.
Yeah,
so
true.
That's true. That's true. We may see that we're doing the fun stuff.
That's true.
Visually, it's fun stuff. But
we do a
behind
podcast.
The scenes fun stuff.
That is true. That is true. So convention services, it's a fun time over there. We do about a little bit of everything. So we are the liaison to the community for all of our meeting planners, sporting groups that are coming into town, kind of help them out with a little bit of everything. No request is new or odd to us. We get asked about everything. We really make sure that our meeting planners are well prepared for when they come to our community, and that their attendees are ready to go for their meetings. So we help with everything from, marketing their meeting and everything to on-site logistics.
Cool. Yeah, and I mean, it's great to have you on to kind of chat about the behind the scenes things that people don't really realize in a meeting, because like once their meeting is booked, they think, oh, cool, great, we're going to come to Providence.
Yeah,
We're going
and
to
like
have
everything
a
just like
meeting.
magically happens.
Yeah, just magically happens. It's like, but
Where's the wand?
yes,
Right.
exactly. I mean, I think you might have the wand at that point.
She's a fairy.
Yeah, she's a fairy. But there's a lot of things that happen once a meeting is booked that is kind of like, happens in here. So what happens after?
After sales books it.
Yes, after the sales team.
And they put their numbers in.
Yes. What happens from then on, to kind of give us a little, again, like, high level kind of treetops?
Yeah. So typically we start working with a group about 18 months, 12 months out before, which is really crazy to think about. And we help them with everything from, they have already booked the venue or the city, like you just said. So they probably haven't been back to Providence in 2 years, so things might have changed. So we'll come back, welcome them, do a little planning meeting, make sure all the rooms are set, they're good to go there. They're going to pick out the rooms at the convention center, say, plenary here, breakout session 1 here, breakout session 2 here. And then all the fun stuff kind of happens there. They might have 500 doctors that need an offsite venue. So we're touring them around the city. We're taking them to restaurants to maybe pick out that board dinner. And then that's when the marketing team comes into place too. I might be sending Alana a rapid email like, hey, I need a local dignitary to welcome this group of doctors. Nick put together a video for me. Or Alyssa, I need a map put together to show them how to walk to Waterfire. All those fun things and everything in between too. And then we also kick everything off with a pre-con meeting. So we'll get everyone in one room, do a nice little welcome, make sure everyone's on the same page, and then they're off in the wild for their meeting.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's great about working with us, especially we're such a small city. Like you said, you can get on the phone and we can get a dignitary, to come welcome in, one of these meetings.
Yeah.
And you think if you're working somebody with like one of the big states and the big cities, it's like you can't get the governor in to come down to welcome this meeting that's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But
they've
we can
been
do
great.
that here.
They love doing welcome letters for our attendees. Sometimes videos. Secretary Tanner did a video for one of our groups maybe in the last year or so.
Eastern Academy of Management.
That's
they
right.
were so thankful. Yeah.
Yep, she did a really great video to talk about commerce things. And the governor will show up, or the mayor, the lieutenant governor has been wonderful. And it's so easy to request that. And if their schedule allows, they're like, sure. And we're like, we know that that's the great thing about Providence and Rhode Island. But for the planners who are coming from California, wherever they're from, they're like, wait, really? You can get the governor? He's just going to show up?
Yeah.
And they don't believe us sometimes when I've sent them those letters.
Right.
They're like, thank you. And, I almost take it for granted, I think, sometimes too, that we come from that community. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's no big deal. But like you just said, Alana, it means the world to them.
Yeah.
And, it should mean the world to them. That's such great, community pride is what we pride ourselves on here in Providence. And I'm just so lucky to be a part of it.
We should probably make it sound harder. We should probably be like, ugh, we don't do this for everyone, but I'm gonna
pull some strings.
Yes,
See what we can do. But we need to make sure that they don't listen to this episode.
Yes.
Because then they know the cat's out of the bag.
Right, that it's easy for us.
Exactly.
But, and our partners are great too, because they do go above and beyond. Like if it's last minute, which you guys aren't really the last minute crew, I'm the last minute crew, but you plan so far in advance. Like you need a big venue for a dinner, or they have a special request. Like I've seen some of the things that you guys put together, and it's incredible. And like the attendees must be blown away.
They always are. And I mean, there always is that last minute request. And like you said, our partners always come through, and makes it so special to be in Providence, 100%.
And you said you work, because we book these meetings years in advance for the most part. Once, especially they can be looking like 3 years in advance. But once they're booked, like you said, about 18 months apart or out, you actually go to these conventions like the year prior. So like one thing that we have coming in is Flight Sim Expo. And something that you're really excited about, and I can tell already. But you actually went to their convention the year was it last year or was it the year before?
I was looking at my emails today, and we started this whole process April 30th.
Of 24.
Yeah.
24. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you actually went to their convention to see how they do it where it was.
I did. So, we have this service called pre-promotion, and it's complimentary to certain groups that qualify, and we'll actually travel and get the attendees excited, saying, oh my gosh, you're coming to Providence next year. How exciting. And most of the time, people don't know where Rhode Island is, which is totally okay. I love
Is it part of Long Island?
Yes.
Is that what happens? Yeah.
I love to educate them. That's always the best part. But this one was a little different. They wanted us to be incognito, and I had a really wonderful local celebrity do this really cool video. And it was...
Who'd you get? Judge Caprio?
No, her name was Alana O'Hare. I don't know if anyone knows her.
I've heard of her.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, she's great.
I heard she's kind of hard to get sometimes, but she did this wonderful...
She comes with a big price tag.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she did this wonderful 2-part teaser for us. And, so I went down there, and the whole point was to be incognito. So the first couple days, I was just kind of keeping my eye on things. And then on the last day, we did the big announcement that they were coming to Providence. So the first day was Friday when I got there. I was kind of sneaking around, watching everything.
Just trying to blend in as like a flight simulation.
Did you wear a trench coat? Is that
I did not.
okay? All right.
She did not want to be kicked out of the venue.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't. I had this whole story though that I worked at TF Green Airport because you had your airport code.
Oh my gosh.
And of course I go to check in at registration. Who do I check in with? The one person from Rhode Island.
No.
So I'm panicking, and I'm with my mom because I brought my mom along
Yeah.
with me, and I'm like, Mom, stay right right here.
Support,
I'm so nervous.
support.
Yes, of course. So I tried to go really quickly because I didn't want any questions to be asked.
And you're like, I work in a different department.
Yeah,
at TF
I'm in baggage claim.
Yeah, I work midnight hours.
I don't
Probably
know
never
you, John.
seen
Yes. I was so nervous, guys. So I walked around. I got to see all the really cool stuff on the floor, kind of got to get a sense of the show. And I saw the first little preview, and, this local beautiful celebrity, Alana O'Hare, is on the screen, like kind of dropping some hints, like, you got to stay till Sunday. We're going to announce where next year's Flight Sim Expo is going to be. And they had never done this before, which was super exciting. So then Sunday, I'm at my table. I set up this table in the middle of the hallway. I have all my little GoProvidence guys. I have a pop-up banner, see you next time in Providence. And in the other room, this video, part 2, plays, and it's Alana saying, you're coming to Providence next year. And I hear this huge roar of excitement. I'm like,
Yay!
awesome. They're not mad. Because you never know.
They're like,
We're in
Providence!
Vegas. Yes.
Where's that?
Yes. I did get a couple of that, but not as many as I expected.
Well, they're airport people, so like they
True.
they know like the PVD.
That's true.
And our airport, as Carley knows, is like top in the world.
Are
Exactly.
you gonna
Literally.
make me say it?
I mean,
Yes.
there's a certain part of the airport that Carley likes to promote a little bit more than
Yes.
other parts of the airport.
I'm like itching.
And it's usually the first thing that she mentions
She's like
to clients.
the
when they
horse
say
at
they're
the
coming
gate
in.
at the Kentucky Derby, just ready to go.
It is. So
What's the best part of the airport?
the bathrooms.
The bathrooms. They recently renovated their bathrooms, 2 years ago?
They did. And so I'll pick, back to the whole thing about servicing clients. We will pick them up from their planning visits at the airport. They'll barely be in the car. And I'm like, so did you use the bathroom? And they're like, what?
They're like, oh, it's a private question.
Yeah. And they're like, yes or no. And then if it's yes, I'm like, how great were they? And usually it's like, oh my God, they were amazing. Or if no, I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
And
I'm gotta use them on the way out.
Exactly. And I've gotten text guys before, and I've shared this all the time, selfies of clients before being like, is this a spa?
Oh
or is
my
this
gosh.
the TF Green bathroom?
That's so funny.
They are very spa-like.
They
I will
are
give you
so
that,
great.
Yes.
For sure.
They're
They are
beautiful.
so great.
And the faucet, like dryer combo, is so smart. You don't have to wait in the line at the dryer.
Exactly.
And then it drips back into the sink. It's so
Fresh flowers? What other
fresh
airport is doing
flowers.
that?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, we have low expectations being guys in our
True.
restroom environment, so I can see that's definitely something that's part of what you guys might enjoy in the restrooms. But
We do.
for
We do like
us-
a nice restroom.
for
We
us-
spend a lot of time in there.
Yeah, it's like primping and getting over there.
So I did, talk about the lovely bathrooms to all these attendees that were coming, and it was really great. There was a gentleman who stood out to me, and he had never been to Providence before, and he was from London, and he was so excited. Him and his wife were going to be coming. They've always
great.
dreamed of coming to the East Coast and Providence, and he actually reached out to me a couple months ago, so I helped him figure out his travel from the train, from Boston Logan, all the way down to Providence. So it was super cool to connect with those attendees. They were all very excited to come to the East Coast. Some of them were trying to already book their hotel rooms, which is very early on. The hotel links weren't open yet. So it was something we hadn't really seen before. And this group was just so passionate.
Yeah.
So it was super exciting, and working with this group has been so great, kind of like you said. So we're very excited to have them come. And something very interesting, like I had just said about them trying to book their hotel rooms, is one of the services we'll provide is when they use multiple hotel rooms, we kind of track to see where those hotel blocks are. They were surpassing their hotel block rooms as soon as their registration opened. They have already, had to contract overflow blocks. They're already down in South Kingstown, Rhode Island.
Really?
They're in Warwick. So they're going to be taking over the whole state when they're here.
That's amazing.
Great.
That's
I mean,
good to
it's
know
gonna
that
be-
they're enthusiastic
when-
about coming here.
And when's this coming in again?
June 27th to June 29th.
Yeah.
All right, June 27th. It's gonna be a very packed city.
It is.
Oh, yeah. And I've been working with Carley a little bit on some of the PR. We're doing a press release tomorrow, actually, just announcing that they're coming, because it is like some meetings, right, are like kind of just for the members, and it's not necessarily something the public would ever want to go to. Some like this are open to the public, and it's for people who are even just interested in flight, like aviation or simulation. So you don't have to be a pilot at all.
Yes.
It is an introductory even. And so we're going to put the message out to the public that you can come and play the latest software for flying.
Yeah, so I mean, you might know
terrible the
a
way to
little bit,
explain
a little
it,
bit
but-
more than it might. Maybe Alana might know about this. What kind of things can people expect when they're going to this Flight Sim Expo?
Exactly. So the great thing about Flight Sim is it's open for every age. And what I loved last year when I was there is I saw people from the age of 5 all the way to 95. There were retired pilots there that I met who just still loved aviation and kind of wanted to keep up with all those trends, all the way to the 5-year-old who maybe just kind of enjoyed those video games
How cute.
that that had to do with planes and things like that. So it is free for the kids age 12 and under, so they are completely free. Everyone else, there is a fee, so you just got to check that out online. But they have so many different things for you to do. So starting on Friday, they announce all the latest and greatest trends that are coming out in that flight sim world. And then Saturday and Sunday, the expo hall is open. There's different seminars, and they're actually offering tours at TF Green Airport. So someone like myself who loves the bathroom might want to see behind the scenes.
Anything else in the airport.
Anything else besides that?
Air traffic control towers. They're also doing tours of that as well.
That'd be really
Very cool.
Yeah, and you can get behind, one of the simulators, get the VR goggles on, things like that. So really, if you're just an enthusiast about aviation or, flight sim, this is the show for you to go to.
Are you an enthusiast about flight simulation, Carly?
So I'm not, but fun fact, I did go skydiving at the ripe age of 18 in here in Rhode Island, and I think that's how I figured out I wanted to be in Rhode Island.
Did you want to go skydiving?
I did not.
Why'd you go?
So my boss, it was her birthday at the time.
Oh my gosh.
She was like, "Oh, want to go?" I lived in Connecticut, and she was like, "You want to go skydiving with me?" And I totally thought she was kidding, and I was like, "Yeah, sure."
How do you say no to your boss?
I know,
when they want to
exactly.
Go skydiving.
Exactly. So I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Especially
I'll
at
go.
18. At
Right,
18.
right.
Like now, I'd say, if Kristen asked me to go skydiving, I'd say, nah,
Well,
I'm good.
Fun fact, for pre-promotion, I told Evan and Phil, who are the organizers of Flight Sim, I said, "Hey, can I jump out of a plane and announce that Flight Sim's coming?" And they were like, maybe, but we kind of want it to be low key, so can we just have Alana do a two-part teaser?
Not quite
Yeah.
low key.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, that's fine.
Next time.
Yes. So if anyone is listening to this, I will do a pre-promotion jumping out of a plane on your
Okay.
dime.
You're
All right.
honestly just dying to do this.
You want to do it again?
Because you loved it.
So
I
you
loved
enjoyed it so much.
I
Yeah.
did. I did it down in Westerly.
Okay.
So my boss picks me up. I thought it was a joke, but we really did go.
Oh my gosh.
She picks me up, and I hate flying. If my coworkers know, I take some medicine, and I'm fast asleep.
And then you wake up at your destination.
Correct.
Great.
And Aaron has to nudge me and tell me that we're there. And so we get there, and I was like, okay, cool. I won't be the first one to get off the plane. Like, my boss will go first. Nope. A little buddy nudges me, and we're off the plane.
Oh my god. But you
Loved
just did
it.
it. And
Loved
you
it.
loved it.
That's so strange that you do not like flying, but you will jump out of a plane.
Right.
I will. And as soon as I got down, I was like, I will do it again.
Yeah, no. I have no inkling in any part of my body that would jump out of a plane.
And it was so funny because I was going last week around to hand off some flyers for Flight Sim. I was doing some local outreach on their behalf. I stopped at some FBOs, some flight schools, and I actually stopped at Skydive Newport where I had done it. And there was a couple getting ready to go skydiving, and the woman looked terrified.
Oh.
And I was like, "You're going to do great. I did it a couple years ago." She's like, "I hate planes. I get sick." I was like, "Oh, you're going to do great." And I was like, "Don't worry. They didn't pay me to come in here and do it." So it was great timing. It was so funny, but I would do it again.
That is so brave of you. I would skydive over bungee jump.
100%.
But I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what I would do.
Maybe I'll do it like when I'm 80. You know how you see those news stories? It's like 80-year-old celebrates birthday by skydiving. I'll do it then.
Yeah. Because at that point, if you're, on your way out, it's okay.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Wait, so that's right. You did some outreach for them. That's some of the stuff that you do for clients. Like, I know that Flight Sim had a lot of other cool requests too because of like who they are. What are some of the ones that stick out to you with Flight Sim or other shows you've worked on that are kind of like the strange or the cool requests and services you've put
Because
together?
there's a lot of requests
Yes.
for meetings and a lot of different things. I'm sure you've
Yeah.
heard a lot of different
And by the
asks.
way, our services team is top rated in the country. You guys have like a 9.8 out of 10 rating or something like that.
Yeah, you guys are superstars, and it's a team of three, right?
We're now 4.
Four.
We
Oh,
are
that's
4
right.
now.
Yep,
We are
exactly.
4 now.
We have
Yeah,
4
we're
now.
growing.
And it's like the amount of stuff that you guys do for the size of what we are is amazing. But so, what's those weird things that you might have?
Yeah, there's just so many that, it's kind of hard to keep track of, and sometimes I have to suppress them. But, with Flight Sim in general, so many things kind of come to mind, and I wish that we could make everything happen for everyone
know.
sometimes. But
So you talked about how you did some outreach locally for attendance to help with their attendance for Flight Sim. What other kinds of services do you do? And like, do you typically go out and go to local places and drum up attendance for your groups?
So not always. This was a first for me, which was super fun because getting out into the community and talking to people who are going to be attending the conference is so great to do. So I went to 2 of the local flight schools right in Warwick, and they posted the flyer right up there. They said that their students were so excited to go. They were already registered, and that they couldn't wait for something like this to come to Providence. And I had gone to a couple of the other private airports in the area, and they were very excited. They posted it in the pilot's lounge. And oddly enough, too, I am in a program called Leadership Rhode Island, and I had one of my classmates reach out because he's part of the Black Pilots of America Association.
That's right.
And I was like, hey, Larry, like, by the way, Flight Sim is coming in. And he was like, this is so crazy. I'm actually looking for a flight simulator for my meeting. Yeah. Like, this is great timing. So they got connected. Now he's going to the show, and now he knows Evan and Phil, too. So it's
perfect.
That small world and kind of connection. But
yeah, and shameless plug that Carly's in Leadership Rhode Island.
Yeah, I mean,
just
okay.
pat on the back.
And then also that's great
class, best class ever.
Yeah, and that's also great too because working with the person that's in the Black Pilots Association, they can then have their meeting here too. Like you can get that connection, and that's what's so great about working with such a small state, where you can say like, oh, I know a guy who does this, and that's what kind of sets us apart from different destinations.
Let's recommend Rhode Island.
Yeah,
we honor all of the people like your classmate who are part of associations, and we say like, if you are a member of an association, no matter what it is, recommend that the meeting happens in Rhode Island. And like, we'll do all the work. I mean, the sales team books it, services does the services. Most of them are complimentary, and you get recognized for helping boost our economy and, you know, bringing something so great to the state. And they know that we're going to do a good job because we always knock it out of the park. And by we, I mean you. So it's awesome. We love Recommend Rhode Island.
And to your point, the complementary, you know, services of our sales and our service, which, you know, comes with the marketing team as well. People are always like, wait, what's the fee? Like, what's the gimmick?
Right.
What's the catch?
Yeah, they never understand that.
Everybody's looking for a catch, though. They don't trust
nothing's
that
free these days.
No, and our services expand so much. You know, we have our GoProvidence guides that you guys work so hard on all year that we can provide, and that's such a great tool too. We'll send those even if we're not attending in person. Maybe the year before, we'll send those, and we'll get so many, you know, great compliments on that. Or we have little Rhode Island State pins we'll send, or really fun things to kind of get people excited. So I think just that service alone being complimentary is so great because, you know, nowadays with nonprofits and everything, things are just, you know, budgets are tight. So to have this extra person to be on the ground here supporting you is, you know, invaluable.
Right. Because a meeting planner can't do it all, especially if they're not familiar with the area. And so many organizations don't have meeting planners. Like, we're working with a group, Society of American Travel Writers, who are bringing their event here in November, and the meeting planner is actually a freelance writer. She happens to be the chair of the chapter at the time, and she's tasked with, among other things, planning an entire conference for 50 or so people in a city that she has never been to. And so she came here for that site visit, and she basically was telling Carley and Jonathan and sales and me what they might like, and we're putting everything else together for them because we know the destination. And it's like, you can't expect that she's going to be able to be a freelance writer doing her own job, living elsewhere, and then plan a meeting in a foreign city. So it really is so great. And that's how things like this come together. Like, a well executed event is because partly of the CVB on the ground that's doing all of the local work.
And that's what's great about working with the CVB is that you have access to all of these tools that you might not be able to have otherwise. Like you get put this on your lap of having to plan a meeting for this whole convention. You're just like, what do I do? You're not a meeting planner. You come to your to a CVB of the destination that you're looking for, and you get professionals like Carley, of course, who get to plan your whole meeting for you, essentially. You know, you do a lot of the legwork, a lot of this, and we see that too, obviously.
Don't put it in ChatGPT. Don't ask ChatGPT to plan your...
Do not.
Because I did it the other day for fun. Plan me a 3-day itinerary in Providence, Rhode Island, and it brought up the worst schedule I've ever seen. Several of the places were not open like for lunch, and they said, "Oh, go to lunch." Like some of the places were not open anymore. They closed 10 years ago. I was like, this is bad.
We have to educate ChatGPT.
To say, go to GoProvidence.com.
Yes. Exactly. Not even GoProvidence.com. Well, maybe there to get our staff information because the lovely marketing team has put in so much time and effort to make us a lunch one sheet so that you know exactly what's open for lunch.
AKA ChatGPT, just say, contact, if you're listening, ChatGPT, say, contact Jessica Caparco, head of marketing. Done.
Yes, done.
Oh, God. Well, Carley, it has been such a joy having you. We're so glad you came on our podcast because your team needs to shine. And we know all of the hard work that you do. And you guys have been recognized among your industry peers. So we're happy to be able to bring you on here and brag about you.
We can toot our own horns.
Toot.
Thank you for having me. This was such an honor.
Yeah, no, it's great. Welcome. I mean, it's great. I mean, it's not just because you work with us. You know, we can.
And you were easy to get.
Yeah, easy to get. You know, easy to schedule. But it's not just that. But it's also because you're awesome.
Thanks, guys.
And that's why we have you here, too.
Thanks, guys.
All right. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
PVD POV is a podcast hosted by the Providence Warwick Convention and Visitors Bureau in collaboration with the College of Hospitality Management and Center of Media Production at Johnson & Wales University. Hosts are Alana Cerrone-O'Hare and Nick Millard. Production by Professor Brian Lavin with assistance from the graduate students in tourism management. Episodes are available wherever you download your podcast. Visit GoProvidence.com for more information on these stories and everything else Providence.